Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about a movie that I watched for the first time yesterday. Uh, I'm very conflicted on Kubrick because I like some of his movies a lot. Like for instance, Full Metal Jacket is like one of my all-time favorite movies. But at the same time, I really hated Space Odyssey. I don't know, it just didn't click with me. And it was my partner's birthday, and he wanted to watch Doctor Strangelove, which we did. And it's interesting because my partner first watched it many years ago, and it kind of hits a sort of like, oh, this is too dystopian, a bit outdated, like we don't live in such a world anymore. And watching it like yesterday, and in the current present time, it's funny because it actually hits a bunch of notes, and it's funny to see that things that when we were growing up or when we were teenagers, when even in our 20s, like these things seem so far-fetched, so unrealistic in our current presence, and the fears didn't feel like they would make sense to us today. All of a sudden make sense to us now. So obviously, I will single out a few characters, and I guess let's start off with the fact that there is Jack Ripper and General Jack Ripper, and this is where I guess it was really funny to me. So just to recap. Doctor Strangelove. Obviously, I can't say like I'm not gonna spoil because this is a movie from the '60s by Kubrick. So if you watched it, obviously you know. If you didn't watch it, I recommend you to watch it because it's actually a very good Kubrick movie. And again, like in my opinion, it's not a bad Kubrick movie. So I do have to say that Jack Ripper sort of has this obsession with saying that he doesn't want the commies to get his bodily fluids. And in general, it goes around it. And then he mentions something that many years ago, again, like my partner didn't realize. And just because I was the one who pointed it out because I've been on this fascinated by weird conspiracy theories train. But he mentions that the US should ban fluoride. And then I was like, oh my God, is this a reference? And it is. So basically, back in the 60s, Kubrick predicted that we will have an absolute moron in the US politics, which will be obsessed with fluoride. And not just that, but I actually tweeted it on Blue Sky. I got pretty much zero engagement besides the fact that the New York Association Against Fluoride decided to tell me that I need to educate myself. And this is probably one of the best interactions I've ever had with, I guess, a company or any entity of sorts. So I'm very happy about that, and I will post a screenshot somewhere here. And he goes on, Jack Ripper, on this sort of idea that the commies have been doing this since the end of World War II. We need to start taking care of water, we need to be drinking water. And in general, all these parallels are just the same speaking points that we have right now in the US, and for all these conservatives, through all these MAGA individuals, factually. And I found that fascinating. And the fact that this bottom end of a joke ended up being a serious discussion, and right now we have RFK Jr. sort of asking people, like how can we ban this or how to proceed with this, and it's insane. So that was really funny and made me really happy that I picked that up because, again, this is just unhinged. Another one I wanted to mention was obviously the character of Doctor Strangelove, because obviously watching the movie you sort of think, okay, it's another a Nazi scientist from Operation Paperclip. But it's interesting because it's not like obviously his big monologue about going underground and stuff obviously inspired Fallout, but the whole fact that he says stuff like we will have a computer which will determine those which are worthy as well as the politicians and stuff. And these are actually talking points which we also have from another very special moron, which is Elon Musk. So we have all these ideas of like colonization Mars, these ideas that some people are worthy, some are not. Obviously, goes into regular Nazi eugenics, but it's the fact that back in the 60s, there's a movie which predicted all of this nonsense that we're dealing with right now. This whole idea that some people will be chosen by the computers, by an algorithm, that it's just insane. And sort of listening to that before we even had sort of the advanced technology we have now, just which was literally a character. This was a caricature of a Nazi, just to highlight how stupid it is. And now we have those people in governments. We have Elon Musk doing a Nazi salute, just like Dr. Strangelove did, and saying Mein Führer and whatever. So all of this is absolutely fascinating, that we're just going back, and sort of it goes with the saying that history repeats itself twice. And it's literally, we did not learn anything. And specifically, like in the US, is just falling into this absolutely unhinged brain dead fascism. And obviously, the way things are going, where everyone's just out of despair, everyone keeps talking about it, and it is obviously on our minds. And now, like, there's also like what's gonna happen to the war in Ukraine, further escalation in Israel and Palestine, and all of this is just because we're allowing. There was this good quote that the people which are destroying the world are such losers, and we're letting all these absolutely unhinged morons like Elon Musk and Zuck and whatever just dictate us, because we have no choice, but we are led to this because we just didn't listen, we didn't do things. And at the end of the day, I understand that even I'm hypocritical. I'm posting on social media to raise awareness because there's nothing I can do, there's nothing whoever is watching can do. And we're pretty much just standing on this ship watching everything burn because we gave people too much power. And obviously, it's not our fault directly. It's the way society ended up being. And we can go into a very deep analysis and where things went wrong, and why is the computer sort of dictating who's worthy, who's unworthy, or someone who's unstable and completely high off their rocks on whatever drug combination they're doing today. Like, I don't know, like, at the same time I understand how we got here, at the same time I don't. At the same time, I just feel like I don't know like what to even suggest at times. Sometimes I just wake up and I'm like, well, fuck, this is shit. But I do my daily routine and stuff, but when you think of the bigger picture, it's just depressing. So it's interesting sort of that we have such amazing pieces of cinema like Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, and at the same time we have these little insignificant Dr. Strangeloves talking about algorithms, and then they develop like AI, which they think is gonna like replace cinema, replace art, replace human interaction. And I don't know, it's very bizarre, it's depressing. And I'm saying this not from a perspective of, again, like I feel very fatalistic right now. I'm not saying this is like the end of everything. And at the same time, I am kind of disturbed that we are in this situation. But yeah, so I really wanted to say, if you want to watch a good movie and sort of reflect on everything, Doctor Strangelove is a really good movie. It's really kind of highlights at what everything that is happening, sort of giving a proper possibility, sort of explaining. And like, me and my partner would have a massive interest sort of in military stuff. So obviously, I just in general I enjoy military movies, and I always have, for quite a while. So basically, it's just a good movie, from the nuances, the details, obviously the political message, and the humor behind it, and it's a great movie. So yeah, obviously that's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry if I rambled a bit. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gives some food for thought. I also wanted to say that I do sort of wish the world kind of goes into a more peaceful spin, rather than this hateful sort of, some people are worthy, some people are not, and we don't actually get people banning fluoride, you know? And yeah, and yeah, I just really want the world to be in a better place. So thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this. Feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to share with your friends so you can all watch Doctor Strangelove and laugh at it, because it's a really fun move, actually. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, just subscribe really.